Thanks so much for joining me. For all you true crime fans out there, a new season of my podcast, Mystery and Murder Analysis by Dr. Phil, is out. We have been gone for a little while, but we are back bringing you some really cutting-edge stories. My goal is for every one of these stories to add something to your understanding about some of these monsters that walk among us. In the new season, we are taking a close look at Gabby Petito, the heartbreaking case of Gabby Petito, whose life was tragically cut short by her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. How could a pair living so-called perfect lives be hiding such dark secrets? Getting to know Gabby while diving into the psychology of unhealthy relationships, were there red flags? Mystery and Murder Analysis by Dr. Phil. His promise of till death do us part seems pretty chilling. Available on Apple Podcast and YouTube. You guys all remember that story. You don't want to miss this. And thank you for subscribing and sharing the news. Mystery and Murder Analysis by Dr. Phil is available on all podcast platforms and YouTube. If you missed the first part with Lindy Lee, you're going to want to listen to it on the Dr. Phil podcast, but this is part 2 with Lindy Lee. Tonight on Dr. Phil Primetime. Lindy Lee, you said it was such a painful journey.
I certainly have PTSD from this. I'm more hurt by unfounded allegations than I am by any name-calling or death threats. I am proud to have exposed that. They've exiled me for exposing them.
Do you regret it? Well, there's some advice you didn't ask for, but I'm giving it to you anyway.
Some of the best advice I've ever gotten, period.
This is part 2 with Lindy Lee. We've been talking about her journey from growing up, getting a great education, finding her leadership chops, and being the first female class president 4 years running at Princeton University, and then running for Congress in Pennsylvania, becoming a significant fundraiser for the Democratic Party before she started seeing some things that didn't just sit well with her, making a jump to the other side of the aisle and suffering greatly for following her conscience. Have you moved a lot, or has the Democrat Party moved a lot? Because I've had people tell me, I didn't leave the Democrat Party left me.
Yes, the party has been lurching leftward, and they're all trying to out-socialist the one before, but I've also just grown up. I'm now in my 30s. And I'm just older and wiser. And it doesn't make sense for me to be one of those woke social justice warriors. The Chinese Communist Party killed my great-grandfather. It's one of the reasons why my parents left the country, because they were persecuted. They went to England. We actually lived in Sheffield, England first. Democrats, and actually some people on the far right, falsely accused me of being a communist spy.
That's a pretty harsh allegation.
I'm one of the most vetted people in the country, frankly, because anyone who goes to the West Wing, anyone who goes to the White House, who's around the president, needs to be vetted time and time again.
You're not going to have traces to communist spy for China and be walking around the West Wing in the Oval Office, standing next to the president. That's not going to happen.
They call me a poor slut. And frankly, Dr. Phil, they can call me that. I'd rather they call me that than a traitor to my country. This country that I love so, so much.
Who ultimately forced him out, in your opinion?
Nancy Pelosi, without a question. I tried to force him out too. At that point, I didn't care so much about the party as I did about our country. I brought a doctor friend to a Valley Forge speech that Biden gave in January of 2024. She was sitting in the front row with me, so she had a clear view of his mannerisms, his hand gestures. She said without a question, this man has Parkinson's.
We'll pick up kind of where we left off with some questions I've just been waiting to ask. So here we go. I talked to President Trump before he was even out of the parking lot that night. of the debate. And even President Trump, who, clearly won the debate 100-0, felt bad for President Biden. He had compassion for him even before he was even out of the parking lot. It was just like,
Oh,
because
wow.
he could have obliterated him much worse than he did.
Yeah, he exercised restraint.
Yeah, he really did. There were times he just kind of stood there while he was struggling and then didn't comment on it after he struggled. He just went on to the next thing. And at night he was just like, oh, that was not good. We both opined at that point that this is not who you're going to run against. I just wondered if there were plans even before that he was not going to be the opponent.
Yes, there were whispers in the Democratic Party, which is why you saw Newsom debating with DeSantis and why you saw Harris essentially jockeying for power for the past 4 years. Everyone knew that there was this possibility, but you just couldn't talk about it. But we did talk about it. And we also, Democrats are hoping that he just wouldn't run. But unfortunately, he picked Harris as a vice president, which either is the smartest move or the dumbest move. The smartest move in that it was a greatest insurance policy because she was so bad of a candidate. Everyone knew that, Biden knew that if he dropped out, it would be Harris because in the party of DEI, you can't skip over a Black person.
Yeah.
The base would never forgive you for that.
You've raised so much money for the Democrats and made so many.
I'd like a refund.
Yeah, you've made so many representations about them, but you said it was such a painful journey. Even while you were raising the money, it was a painful journey?
It was, yeah.
Why?
Especially when Biden was running, because the American people could see what was happening. His brain was deteriorating in plain sight. And so part of the reason why I clamored so hard for accountability is that a lot of my donors donated because they believed in me rather than the candidate. So when Biden was a candidate, he clearly was not an inspiring figure. But they did it because of their love for me or, long-standing relationship. A lot of these are family friends. So it was hard because I used my good name to vouch for someone who clearly wasn't fully there. I raised about $1 million for Biden, which is not that much, but I couldn't because it was Biden. When Harris jumped in, I raised a lot more.
How much did you raise for her?
A lot more, millions, 20 million in total for the entire campaign. Not only for the campaign, but for various super PACs. They had Future Forward, they had American Bridge. There were a number of assortment of organizations. For the campaign, one person could only raise like $929,000. And there was a limit for the campaign under the FUC. For the super PAC, there are no such limits.
What were people saying about that inside the campaign? What were they saying about that? Now, when you raised that money and then you saw them, the DNC and Harris's super PAC, they ran through $2.5 billion in 107 days.
Yeah. And then got mad at me for asking questions.
No accountability. What were people saying about that inside the campaign? What were they saying about that?
I can tell you what they were saying then, and I can tell you what they're saying now. People were outraged even then because there was no response to the gender affirming care ads that Trump was very effectively running across battleground states, including here in Pennsylvania. It was political malpractice not to respond to that. That, I think, was the best and most effective ad of the entire cycle. Correctly saying that under Harris, Harris supported gender affirming care for prisoners.
Yeah. They had her speaking herself.
Yeah. No common sense individual, in my view, would support such a thing. But according to the super PAC in their polls and their focus groups, we didn't need to respond. It's just, oh, by the way, I should mention that, who is running Future Forward? Anita Dunn got exiled by the Biden White House for telling Biden to distance himself from his convicted felon of a son, Hunter Biden. So by the end of the summer, she was over there in the super PAC. She got iced out of the White House because she offended Hunter. Yes, that's what happened. Now, Dr. Phil, I can tell you people are so angry, not only at Biden and Harris, but also at Obama, because the people making all that money from the super PAC were Obama world figures. $500 million of advertising money went to just 4 well-connected Democratic firms like Bully Pulpit International. I don't know if you've heard of them. These are all run by Obama people. Jen O'Malley Dillon, who ran Harris's campaign and also Biden's campaign, steered that money to her friends. It's I hate to say this, but it's a of corruption and self-dealing. And the reason why they're having such a tough time raising money now is because donors now know that they completely squandered our money. And I am proud to have exposed that. I paid a price, but it was worth it because I'm the only one talking about it. It's been 5 months. I've given them 5 months to contradict me. Prove, like, if I'm wrong, show me where. No one has dared contradict me on the facts. Instead, they're calling me a slut and a whore. So, Dr. Phil, it pretty much says it all.
Yeah, if they can't contradict your facts, they'll say your mother wears army boots. You know, I mean, they just start assassinating your character in some way.
Exactly. Or I'm a communist spy.
Yeah, of course. Did it occur to anybody that they were spending millions and millions to bring in really high-profile celebrities like Beyonce that the average donor couldn't afford a ticket to go see, let alone relate to, but yet that's where they were spending millions and millions of dollars?
You know what? People ask me all the time why I didn't speak up sooner. Well, the benefit of having 107-day campaign is that your reports don't get filed until after the election. So nobody knew.
Yeah, good point. It's done before you have a chance to even respond.
Exactly.
Right?
We had no idea. I honestly thought who would be stupid enough to pay Beyonce? She didn't even perform, by the way.
Right.
She just gave a speech that no one really wanted to hear, with all due respect. It didn't even occur to me that she could have been paid. Because I honestly gave them the benefit of the doubt. I thought they sincerely believed in her. I would never allow myself to be paid for an endorsement because in my view, that's just like a paid advertisement, right? You should probably tell people that you're just, right? But all of them were paid, even down to people who denied it. Like Cardi B, she was paid. Obama's production company was paid. So all of them were paid. And not only that, they were blowing our money on 5-star hotels just for regular campaign staffers, on private jets, on all sorts of things, on ice cream, on everything. Just blowing it, like treating it like OPM, other people's money. Worst of all, though, is what I mentioned earlier. Those tens, hundreds of millions of dollars went into the pockets of people on their 3rd or 4th mansion already. It's the Obama people who shift from one campaign to the next. I'm sure in 2026, in a few months, they're going to be on to another campaign collecting the same amount of money. It's a cottage industry, these campaign consultants.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
To influencers, so much money. This is hundreds of millions of dollars. And the reason why we were advertising in places like Iowa, in Florida, it's not because we had a chance, not because Dems had a chance. It's because they wanted to collect commission on those TV ads. There was no way on God's green earth that Kamala Devi Harris was going to win Florida. Yet she was advertising there, Dr. Phil.
And somebody was advising them to do this. Somebody was saying, spend this money in Florida.
Jen O'Malley Dillon, another Obama person who steered that money to her friends because her friends were the one running the media firms.
Well, I guess people got rich over it, right?
The thing is, they were rich before. They were rich from 2022, from 2020. The thing is, these consultants win no matter who's in office. It doesn't matter to them as long as they get paid. And they're going to get paid again in 2024, 2026, 2020, on and so on and so forth. And these are names you've never even heard of. And they're just going to keep on getting paid. They're never going to, the party has learned nothing. They exiled me for exposing them.
Would you do it again?
Raise money for them?
No, would you do the exposing again? Do you regret it?
I don't regret it. I don't regret it. It had to be done. It had to be done. I didn't know it'd be so painful. And people think I have this grand plan, that I planned all of this out. Do they not realize that I just lived, survived day by day? That I have no PR team. It's just me. It's just me. I'm just this one woman trying to keep my head above the water, trying to be able to live with myself. But I know that I did the right thing. I can rest. I'm not going to say that it doesn't hurt. It hurts every single day. Sometimes it takes my breath away how much it hurts to be defamed like that, for them to drag my good name in the mud. But I don't regret it. Maybe there are some tactics that I would have done differently, some wording that I might have shifted. But no, this needed to be done because Dr. Phil, if I didn't say this, no one would have known. No one would have said anything. So look at the way they're behaving now. They're proceeding like nothing ever happened.
But at some point you had invested so much and you believed in what you were doing. You have to be grieving the loss of something that you had invested so much in, that it turned out to be not what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, I had PTSD before this from my childhood. We don't have to go into that today, but I certainly have PTSD from this again. Primarily, the truth is I'm more hurt by unfounded allegations than I am by any name calling or death threats. People can threaten my life all day long. I frankly don't care. I just don't care anymore. I do care if they assassinate my character. I do care. I care deeply. And this is something I haven't said at all. My grandmother is dying right now. She's 95. I'm unable to see her because she lives in China.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going there. It's bad enough that they're calling me all sorts of things. I'm just not going to give them more. I'm just not going to do it. And so I FaceTime her, and I almost thank God that she is in such cognitive decline that she doesn't understand that I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
And that I've been spared the necessity of explaining to her why I can't be there. But I can't be there because people are defaming me and accusing me of something that I'm not. So it's almost like the COVID situation where I'm not able to be with my loved ones.
Are you saying
but
that
it is what it is?
Are you saying you won't go because people would say, see, she's in China? Are you saying you won't go because people would say, see, she's in China?
Yeah.
So you're giving them your power.
You have to understand how much pain that has caused me to be called a traitor of this country that I love so, so, so much. Last month when they did this to me, Dr. Phil, I was under by the way, prior to that, I had been attacked by Democrats for months, and that was fine. You know, I was resilient enough to endure that and come out of that alive. Yes, it was really hard on me, but I survived. What they did to me a month ago by defaming me like that, it was the first time in my life when I was sitting on my bedroom floor. Actually, someone that I love was here with me that week, and I even apologized to them. I'm sorry that I cannot love you the way that I want to, because I simply do not have the capacity to. I'm just trying to survive. When they did that to me last month, it was the first time in my life when I thought, I don't want to be here anymore. Not that I'm like anything like that. I'm just like, it would be so nice not to feel. Like only if there was something that would help me not to feel. And then I don't know, you would know better than I do because you're the doctor here, but I was spitting up blood. I'm guessing it was some sort of stress ulcer. I had a porcelain bowl next to my bed. So I would be able to get rid of the blood throughout the night. But I would thank God. I've held on to my faith, and I thank God that I had the discipline to continue my life. I'm a runner. I run every night. I held on to my routine. My routine was what helped me get me through. I continue to run 5 miles a day. It helped me survive. I continued to work. I got through all of that through the strength of my mind. Nothing else. As I mentioned, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any substances. I gritted my teeth and I survived it. But do you know what it's like to be defamed? And millions of people, it's not just a minor thing, millions of people saw that lie across the world. And there's nothing you could really do to stop it. It was entirely out of my control. And the only thing I can do now is to just keep going and persevering. I'm writing my story. I want the world to know who I am. I have nothing to hide. I invite people into my heart. This is who I am.
What was it they said that cut you the deepest? That you had betrayed this country?
Simply by being of Asian heritage. And the person that I love the most is actually white. And sometimes I wish I would give anything not to have this anymore. I did not choose to look like this or to be born where I was, but it would have spared me a lot of trouble, a whole world of hurt. But it is what it is, and I just have to make the most of it. And I'm the ultimate survivor. That much I know. I've survived so much. Not only what we talked about, but even my child, Dr. Phil, you'd be stunned. I even had a doctor tell me a few years ago, "I'm surprised you're alive." I'm the ultimate fighter and the survivor. I will survive. May not be pretty, but I will survive.
Well, you have to do more than survive. And I'll give you some advice that you haven't asked for. You know, free advice, you usually get what you pay for. But you know, one thing I know is that it's real easy when the bullies, and you can say it's sophisticated and it's a whole political party and it's a whole this and it's a whole that, but it still comes down to bullying. We talk at 100, 120 words a minute. If we get real agitated, it'll gust up to a little more, but we talk at 100, 120 words a minute, but we think at 12 to 1,400 words a minute. So what happens is a bully can say something, and then you internalize it, and you repeat it at like 10x. They say it at 120 words a minute, but you repeat it in your mind tenfold. So they might say it like 10 times, and you repeat it 100, 1,000 times in your mind. And when they hit that nerve that really bothers you the most because it's your core values, you can really, really repeat it so much that it actually starts to change your body. It changes your brain. It changes the amygdala in your brain. It changes everything about you. That internal dialogue just takes over your whole life. And you get on it's like being on a racetrack that has no exit ramp. You just can't get off. You just keep going around and around and around and around and around. You have to decide, wait a minute, I'm not giving those people my power. I am not allowing them to do that. And sometimes you've got to listen to what you're saying to yourself internally and write it down. That's your exit ramp. This is what they said. This is what I'm repeating in my brain, and get some objective distance from it where you look at it and say, my God, that's what I'm bullying myself. I'm saying this to myself, and I'm doing it more than they did it. It's not that I believe it. It's just the repetition of it. And, it's called somatization. That's why you're spitting up blood. It creates so much acid in your stomach and your esophageal passageways that it eats away at the lining, and you do get blood and you spit it up. And the only way to stop that is to change your internal dialogue. And you know who you are. You know what you believe. You know that they've found that button to push. You have to absolutely generate an alternative internal dialogue. My dad used to say you wouldn't worry so much about what people thought of you if you knew how seldom they did. We feel like everybody walking up and down the streets thinking about me and all the things that are being said about me. And the truth is, they're not. They've got rent to pay and kids to feed and jobs to do. Millions of people aren't thinking about you every day, but you feel like you're lime green, fluorescent, glow in the dark, and you aren't, but you're thinking about it every minute of every hour of every day. You've got to generate a different internal dialogue. We don't break habits. And if you get in the habit of repeating what these bullies are saying, you'll never break that habit. You have to replace that behavior with a new behavior and generate an internal dialogue that crowds that one out. You're not a spy for the Chinese Communist Party, and you know it. You've got to start generating some affirmative behavior. I'm not talking about looking in the mirror and saying, I'm good enough and I love me and I'm great enough. You got to specifically counter the things that are being said about you. You know the truth, and you cannot be defined whether you're loved or rejected by strangers. And I've always said I've been fortunate and I'm not afflicted by the need to be loved by strangers. And thank God, because I get a lot of the same grief that you get from people. I talk about fighting against anti-Semitic behavior against Jews in this country, for example. I get all kinds of hate mail about that and hate crimes. And number two to the Jews are those from the Pacific Rim, all types of Asians. I fight against that all the time, and I get hate mail for it. But I can't let my internal dialogue believe the hate mail. You got to unplug from that, and you got to generate a different internal dialogue, or it'll drive you to the point that you're sitting in your bedroom floor saying, I wish I wasn't here. And I don't read you as being suicidal. What I do read you is I wish the pain would stop. And the way the pain stops is we don't react to what's happening in the world. We react to what we're saying to ourselves about what's happening in the world. You can't change what they do. You can change what you say to yourself about what they do. That's the only thing you can control, and you need to control it better. Frankly, you need to control it better. The only person you control is you. That's good news and bad news. The only person you need to control is you, and you have to control better what you're saying to yourself. Now, there's some advice you didn't ask for, but I'm giving it to you anyway.
Well, that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten.
Now, there's some advice you didn't ask for, but I'm giving it to you anyway.
Well, that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten. period, hard stop. I wish I could etch it across my soul. That was such incredible advice. Thank you so much. That was exactly what I wanted to hear.
Well,
that was amazing.
I hope you will hear it because when you think about it, we can't control what happens in the world always, but we can control what we say to ourselves about what happens in the world. They will move on to someone else, but you've got to change what you say to yourself about what other people are doing. If you do, then you take their power away. And when you do, then you're back in control. There are a lot of people in this world, a lot more that don't believe you're a spy for the CCP than do believe you're a spy for the CCP, and tens, hundreds of millions more that don't give a damn one way or the other. Never heard of you, never heard of that allegation one way or the other. And you're one of those people that can let your deeds speak for yourself.
Exactly.
Instead of somebody else's words speak for who you are. Just let people meet you, know you, see who you are. I've made a rule in my life, I don't defend myself. Because you ever start defending yourself, that's biblical, by the way, as you probably know. If you ever start defending yourself, you'll never stop. Just be who you are and do what you do and let that speak for who you are. I think you speak for yourself very well. I think your actions speak for you very well. When this is all over, you'll be there and they'll be gone.
Dr. Phil, you're amazing. Thank you for changing my life with just an hour. I feel you've given me, I'm going to safeguard this conversation for the rest of my life. I've done a lot of interviews, but only one or two have shaken me like this one just has. I usually always know what to say, but I feel like I've lost my ability.
I hope you'll think about it,
myself.
And you don't need to say a word.
You're a wellspring of wisdom.
Well, I hope you'll think about it, and I hope we can talk again.
I hope so too. Thank you for your incredible kindness and also your faith in me. I don't hold it lightly. I will do everything I can to make you proud.
Well, I'm proud to meet you and proud to talk to you. We do 4 hours of news here on Merit TV every day, and we would love to have you expert for us when you have time and weigh in on things. Extend that invitation to you. We'd love to have you.
It would be the honor of my lifetime. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for making my world. You really did. My parents were so happy to see that I was joining you. We all love you.
Well, I look forward to talking to them. Give my best to your parents and tell them they'll be seeing you on our air pretty soon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phil.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk again very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Tomorrow on Dr. Phil Primetime, you or someone you know is about to download danger. Scammers are using artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency to separate you from your cold hard cash. Where does the money go? Will they ever see it again?
No.
You don't have to be looking for love to fall for one of these scams.
Every time I send money, it's never enough.
You're surrounded by people who do care about you and who will burn this son of a bitch to the ground. That's tomorrow night. Don't click off just yet because so many people that aren't necessarily high profile and in the public eye have to deal with in this day and time. And that is getting bullied and getting bullied online in particular. You heard what I had to say to Lindy about that. And I want to talk to you about that in your own life because sadly, this has just become a way of life. I want you to have a strategy for dealing with this. And the first thing I want to tell you is that when this happens, very simply, you want to just unplug. And your first reaction is going to be, Dr. Phil, I shouldn't have to unplug. Why should I have to unplug, get off the internet, get off of my accounts, whatever, because somebody else is misbehaving. I'm not talking about what is fair. I'm talking about what is effective for you. And I know that as much as we want to say out loud and to other people, I know I'm right. I know they're wrong. I know they're a bunch of bullies. I also am aware that this gets to folks. And as I said to Lindy, we start repeating this in our own minds. It's, as I said, we take over for the bully. They may type it once or twice or 10 times, and they may say it, and we start repeating it, but we start repeating it by a factor of 10. It's like elevator music. It just plays constantly in our heads to the point that it actually changes our self-image, our self-definition, our self-worth. You have to just be willing to say, you know what? I am going to unplug. I'm going to unplug for my own sanity. And so I want you to be willing to do that. And if that means blocking those people, then block those people. But the best thing you can do is for 30 days to just unplug, shut your accounts down, change your accounts, and block everybody that you don't know. Because if they can't get to you, then they don't have leverage over you. I'm saying this for you, and I'm saying it for your children if they're getting bullied at school. They have to have access to you to influence you. And then you have to start getting some objectivity from this. And it's terribly important that you listen to what you're saying to yourself. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to your internal dialogue and hear what you're actually saying to yourself. And you need to write that down, and then you need to test it for rationality. Listen, this is a whole lot cheaper than going and getting therapy, which if you want to do that, you can do that too. And I always encourage that. I think it's a great thing to do. But in the interim, you can test what you write down, what you're saying to yourself for rationality. Number one, is what I'm telling myself true? Is it based on fact? Test it against fact. Number two, is it in my best interest? Saying these things to myself, is this in my best interest? Number three, does this get me what I want? And number four, does this protect and prolong my life? Those are 4 tests of rationality. And if what you're telling yourself fails any one of those 4 prongs, then you need to hit the eject button on that thought because you're speaking irrational thoughts to yourself. And you need to generate a rational alternative. If they're telling you that you're no good and that you're a worthless liar, then generate an alternative that is true. If that's not true, and you know if it's not true, then write out what is true. I'm not a liar. I speak the truth. Is it in your best interest to say that to yourself? Of course it's not. Then what is in your best interest to say to yourself? You need to write that down. Does it get you what you want? No. Then what does get you what you want? And to answer that question, you have to say, what do you want? I want to feel at peace about who I am. I want to be connected to myself, and I want to be at peace and harmony about who I am and how I feel about me. Does it protect and prolong your life? No. Derogating yourself, putting yourself down, saying horrible things to yourself. It doesn't protect and prolong your life. It stresses you. It pushes you towards depression. It pushes you towards isolation. So generate something that's not. Say, I am a valuable human being. I have something to contribute. I have something to give other people. This is important for me to acknowledge and recognize. You can't believe what burden can be lifted off of you. And then the action step you need to take besides what you challenge and generate alternatives for is to give away what you need the most. If you're feeling beleaguered, if you're feeling under attack, if you're feeling isolated by these bullies, you're not alone. Talk with other people about it and give away what you need the most. Go to those people that are suffering and reach out to them. Share with them what I'm saying to you. Sit down and say, I know what they said about you, but we don't respond to what happens in life. We respond to what we say to ourselves about what happens in life. So what are you saying to yourself? Let's write that down. Now let's test that for rationality and let me help you generate what's true. And they'll walk away from that knowing that they have at least one friend in life who knows who they are, knows what they're worth, knows what's in their best interest, and wants them to have a good, solid, healthy life. You will fill them up. Maybe they're at a low point and you can lift them out of that. And that act of giving will prove your worth to you. That's what's important. So we listened to Lindy Lee talk about being at the bottom today, being so upset that she got caught in somatization, where we start dealing with psychological issues through physical channels. And you don't want to do that. You want to deal with psychological issues psychologically and physical issues physically. And when it starts to cross over, that's a real bad sign. Don't let that happen to you. It happened to her. That's why I stopped that interview and talked to her about what she needed to do when I said, I want to give you some advice you didn't ask for. You heard her say, I needed to hear that. And maybe you need to hear it. Maybe your son or daughter is getting bullied at school or with their friends. Maybe a friend of yours is getting bullied. And you don't want to be a bystander. You want to be actively involved in helping yourself and those around you. So look, I'm glad you didn't click off here. I just wanted to share this with you. You don't have to be a victim. You can be a victor. And this will help you stand up for yourself and those around you. Thanks for being here. I hope this was worth listening to. I'll see you next time.